Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure you click the link in the description box. 10% off of green gear. Offer code GREEN, capital GR, the number 3. And once again, I'm looking up, I just saw one of those highway signs, the ones that say, click it or ticket, or, buzz driving is drunk driving. It said something about the coronavirus and large gatherings. I'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, until March 15th, 10% off your green gear. Offer code GREEN, capital GR, the number 3. And like I was just saying, this coronavirus shit is unreal. It's surreal. It's new. I've never experienced this before. We had the H1N1, swine flu, SARS, all this shit. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen panic spread like this in California. We've had the earthquakes, the power outages, the wildfires. I mean, you name it. We've had it. I've never seen anything like this. When we had the big one in '89, that might be the closest California disaster statewide. We had like the earthquake in Northridge. That was more of a localized thing. The wildfires, but again, that was more of a localized thing, like in Paradise up in the Bay Area. Things like that. But this coronavirus shit, this Chinese coronavirus, let's not bullshit. That's where it came from. I've read reports of, testing was going on in a lab on animals. The animals' meat was sold to what's called the wet market. Could we come up with a more disgusting name for a market? The wet market? Ugh. I don't want moisture associated with my place to shop. That shit sounds weird. But according to that report, the meat got sold, was consumed. Here we are. All the schools in the county I live in have been closed until April 1st. Even in surrounding counties, San Bernardino, Santa Cruz. The same thing. If it hasn't happened, it's going to happen already. There could be a statewide shutdown. I was reading this morning. We could take a page from Italy's book. They had to do something. Holy shit. Italy's all fucked up right now. So we could take a page from their book and just do a straight mass quarantine. Suspend basically all outside activity. I don't know. Grocery stores. Shelves are empty. You can go on your social media of choice and see pictures of all the grocery stores stripped. Luckily, my mom is coming down to visit today, and she doesn't live in such a panic-stricken area, so she'll be bringing some TP down here for us. Thanks, Mom. So yeah, being out yesterday, being at work, seeing how people are, that's all people, corona, and this and that. I'm sick of this shit. Let's get a handle on it. You had the president declare a national state of emergency yesterday. That's going to free up, I heard, over $40 billion for various things. The National Guard is going to be sent to certain areas to help. What do you say? This is uncharted territory for us as far as the hysteria behind it. I do think the reaction is outweighing the cause of the reaction. You had some TV shows doing audience-less shows, crowdless shows with just them, the host, and maybe some staffers. People had to be there sitting in the audience. There could be one no more awkward, weird, and not funny than former mayor, former presidential candidate for the Democrats, Pete Buttigieg. Oh shit. So he covered for Jimmy I Cry All the Time, Kimmel. He did the monologue. Granted, he didn't stumble over his words. He hit all his marks, but he was not funny. That shit was weird. And then he does this skit where he goes out on the street and he's like, well, since I'm unemployed, I better go look for some work. So here we go. Dude is a fucking nerd, like a socially awkward nerd. So he's walking down, I don't know, Sunset Boulevard, Sunset Strip, Hollywood Boulevard, wherever the fuck the show is taped. He's walking down the street, he's looking up at all these different business signs. And of course, since he's gay, he looks up at the Hooters sign and goes, ew, titties? No thanks. Whatever, that shit wasn't funny either. So he goes into some what's called Wetzel Pretzel. I guess that's an LA thing because I've never heard of that up here. But he goes into this pretzel shop and he walks in. He's, I'm looking for work. Oh, you're going to have to talk to Debbie. Okay, where's Debbie? Debbie! Calls her, she comes out. Who is she? The stereotypical angry black woman. She comes out, what do you want? All that kind of bullshit. I'll put a link to that sorry ass, full of cringe video in the description box. You can look at it, you can be uncomfortable yourself. That shit was terrible. I mean, not because I think Booty Gage is a dumbass, but it was really unfunny, terrible, and awkward. Check it out yourself. One more thing I wanted to talk about. You talk about a bombshell. This is a nuclear bombshell. So, you might remember back in 2018, down in Florida, there was a gubernatorial race. I never understood why gubernatorial is used to describe race between two candidates for governor. Gubernatorial governor, I don't get it. Anyway, so there was this gubernatorial race down there, and you had Rob. Anyway, you had DeSantis, who was a Republican. You had this other guy running as a Democrat, and this guy's name was Andrew Gillum, the picture of perfection. Young, handsome, well put together, well dressed, snazzy suits, articulate, smart. I mean, he's out there, he's in the community, he's making it happen. Trump hater, everything. America's racist and fucked up. He is ready to go to war for the Democrats. He is in his Democrat uniform, victimhood levels or layers and all. Andrew Gillum was going to beat DeSantis, and he lost by a razor-thin margin. He did lose, but it was close. But that's not why we're talking about Andrew. The reason we're talking about Andrew 2 years later is because this motherfucker, yesterday morning in the wee hours of the morning, I think around 1 or 2 o'clock, something like that, the police are called to a hotel room. Now you're probably thinking, well, Andrew Gillum is a married man with 3 kids. Is there something wrong? Is there something wrong with his family? Was he hurt? Was one of his family members hurt? There was a medical emergency. The ambulance was called EMTs or EMS if you're from other areas. Around here, we call them EMTs. Oh my goodness. Is Andrew or one of his family members in danger? No. Hell no. The police and ambulance were called to his hotel room because some dude was overdosing on meth. That's right. Andrew Gillum, some dude, I don't remember his name, and another guy who paid for the hotel room are all in this room. One of them's overdosing on meth. Andrew Gillum's in the bathroom throwing up. And I've also heard that this guy, the one who's on the bed, so check this out. The alleged male escort is on the bed throwing up. Andrew Gillum is in the bathroom throwing up. So they must have taken the same thing, right? But Andrew Gillum says, well, I was there for a wedding and I had a little bit too much to drink, but I have never, he has a little official statement, I have never taken methamphetamine. Never. I was just drunk. I had a little too much to drink. Now you hear that? You hear that? That's red flags popping up everywhere. Wait a minute. Now, I could be wrong, but who the fuck gets married on a Thursday in March? Pretty rare. Most weddings are in June. I could be wrong. Maybe he really was at a wedding. But that's going to be my first red flag. A wedding on a Thursday afternoon. Okay. Number two, when the police showed up, to interview everybody who could be interviewed, they said that the dude was overdosing on the bed and there were 3 visible bags of what looked like methamphetamine. Number 3, where's your wife? Because I know ever since my wife and I got together, anytime you know someone well enough for them to invite you to their wedding, one of the most important events in their life, you're probably going to bring your wife with you. Maybe not the kids. Some people say no kids. I don't blame them. No kids at the wedding. But you're going to bring your wife. Where was she? Did you leave her at the room? You snuck out to get some meth-covered dick? What happened? There's 3 bags of meth. There's 3 of you. Makes sense. If you're drunk, why are you having the same symptoms as a dude who took too much meth? The fuck? Why are you even there? No married man should end up in a hotel room with anybody else and methamphetamine. What the fuck? Oh, shit. And he denied it. Why don't they piss test him? I don't know how long meth stays in your system. I only did that shit once. I was in my early 20s hanging out with my boys, and I did what you call a rail. Not good. Disgusting feeling. Never did it again. Never want to. But piss test him. Take his blood. See if he was lying. And they said they let him go. But if he had too much to drink, how were they going to let him go? And they said he was free. He left to go home after the police released him. How did he get home? Did he Uber? Did he get a Lyft? How far is Miami from Tallahassee? Why would the police let an inebriated man, even though he's a former mayor, why would they let him go? Unless he wasn't drunk at all. Unless they got a hold of some bad shit. Maybe the other guy took more, that's why he was more fucked up. Maybe Gillum only did a little bit, made him puke. I'm good, let me go. Because they said when they first got there, he was incoherent, he couldn't talk, he couldn't communicate. So how fucked up were you? I've been drunk a lot. It's been a long time. I think the last time I got drunk was more than 10 years ago at my bachelor party. Let me tell you something, kids. Water is your friend. If you're gonna go out drinking, make sure you got water like every other drink. Especially when you go out for your 21st or a bachelor party, bachelorette party. People want to get you fucked up. I ran into this DJ that I knew. He's like, oh, it's your bachelor party? Double shots of Patron. I didn't pay for shit all night. I remember drinking the shots like, damn, man, these shots are big. How come I can't take them just in one go? Come to find out later, they were all double shots. Ha-ha to all my friends. But I did have water in between, so I was good to go. No hangover. Anyway, if you're drinking so much that you can't talk, how did you even get to the hotel? And then how did you leave? You don't just snap out of that. You don't just puke up that much alcohol and you feel great. A lot of missing pieces here, a lot of questions, a lot of red flags. But this fool ended up in a hotel room with meth, a male prostitute, and then the guy, the third guy, Mejia, I think was his last name, he's the one who actually used his credit card to purchase the room. He gave it to the overdoser to get the hotel room earlier that day. So why would you give another dude your credit card to get the hotel? Why wouldn't you get it yourself? Why wouldn't he get it himself? Now, I understand if it was under legitimate circumstances and Gillum didn't want his name in a hotel registry for some reason. Okay. But why is another dude paying for your hotel room? It's just weird, man. It's just weird, funny. Does his wife know? Does she knew He was searching for the ding dong on the DL. Does she know he had a meth problem? Was she keeping her mouth quiet? Or is she blindsided by this like the rest of us? Dude, he was so perfect on the outside. There's pictures of him online with his family. It looks great. 3 kids, a wife. That's the American dream. But the American nightmare would be a bunch of meth and a male prostitute foaming at the mouth, puking on the bed. Whoops. Didn't plan on that, did you? You plan to be up all night. Remember that show on USA? Back in the day on the weekends with that girl named Rhonda something? USA, up all night. That's what Gillum wanted. He wanted to be up all night. Doing some lines. Little dick maybe, huh? Be the pitcher, be the catcher. Hey man, that's your business. You go right ahead and do what the fuck you want to do. But try not to be a Boy Scout looking down your nose at the rest of us telling us how fucked up this country is when your own life is all fucked up. Oh man. I can't wait. In the coming days, of course, it's Saturday. So I think Monday, more information will come out. I read the police report. It pretty much said everything that I just told you. But like I said, I'll put a link in the description box. You can see all that shit yourself. So weird, man. So weird and so out of nowhere. And what a welcome break from all this Corona shit. Thanks, Gillum. I think Gillum did that for us. He was like, man, we need to break this Corona bullshit news cycle. I'm tired of hearing about this. You know what? Let me go get a few bags of that speed, call up my boys, and we're going to do some wild shit in the hotel and shift the focus. Oh, absolutely disgusting, man. Let me get the fuck out of here and jump in this rat race. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit liberal cries. Utilize the PayPal link and the Teespring link to get your green gear. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.